Thank you all for being here this morning. My name is Gifford Miller. I have the really tremendous good fortune to be the chairman of the board of the Center for an Urban Future. And it is a great pleasure to welcome you here this morning. The Center for an Urban Future, I can say, because the board is so proud to have the opportunity to support the great work of Jonathan and the whole staff, is really an amazing place that does really cutting-edge work in trying to address issues of economic justice and inequality, and really, before it was fashionable. And we're very excited to be at a time in our city's history and future in which there's so much attention and focus being given to the kinds of issues that we've been working on for decades about creating opportunities and economic progress for all New Yorkers. And this morning's forum is really just a part of our long history of involvement with entrepreneurship in particular, which we really feel is at the heart of what makes New York, New York, and also what will make New York an even greater city in the future. So it's a real honor to have the chance to open up this program, and a particular pleasure this morning to bring up our next speaker, who will give some brief welcoming remarks as well, from Capital One, Daniel Delahanty. Capital One is an amazing institution and partner for us in so many ways, and we're really thrilled that they have recognized this issue as being so important, not just because of the work that we've done, but because of the work that they do every day. And so we're very, very pleased to have the opportunity to introduce Daniel Delahanty to say a few words from Capital One. Thank you, Daniel.
Good morning, everyone. I remarked to Gifford that he must have the magical fountain of youth. He looks not a day older than the pictures that I've seen. But I want to thank everyone, and it's great to see so many familiar faces. I've been on the road a lot lately, and it's great to be back with so many of old friends and new friends as well. I really want to congratulate Jonathan and his team. When I joined Capital One about 7 years ago, the center was working on a report around entrepreneurship and immigrant communities, and we had great discussions, and their work, like that report, like so much of their work, really prompted me and my team and my colleagues to talk about what we were doing, framing our work in broader movements and challenges. And we really, really treasure and value the work that they put out. You know, this is the information age. We always get a ton of stuff in our inboxes, but I always keenly look forward to the work of the center. And what's bringing us here today is this very interesting report. I was looking at it again yesterday. Capital One, as part of our community work, we're completely focused on small and micro businesses. It's part of what we do. It's part of our holistic strategy as a bank to serve a broad range of needs of entrepreneurs. And when I looked at the report again last night, it challenged me to have us think again about how to reach more native New Yorkers who may not have as high rates of business formation as some other folks in our city. So the tone and the spirit and the challenge that the report puts out there is so timely, and we have a phenomenal panel. So I'll stop there, but just really want to congratulate everyone who worked on the report, Jonathan, Ahmed, and their whole team, for just being a thought-provoking leader in this city, and prompting me and others to think about ways that we can better serve this wonderful city of ours. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the leader of the Center for an Urban Future, fellow Queens resident, fellow Arsenal fan, Jonathan Bowles.
Thanks so much, Daniel. It's a real pleasure to have you here and have the support not only of yourself, but Teresa and everyone from Capital One. I know you guys are really deep into this work around micro enterprise, small business, entrepreneurship, so it's great to be able to partner with you on this event. It's also great to have so many people here for a topic that's really important to us. You know, the Center for an Urban Future, as Gifford mentioned, has done a lot of work over the years about entrepreneurship and small businesses. I can go on and on. This has ranged from our 2007 report called World of Opportunity about the really powerful impact that immigrant entrepreneurs are having in New York City's economy and the challenges they face, to more recent reports we've done about how to help more small businesses in New York City get access to technology, to incorporate technology as a way to get smarter and more competitive. You know, this conversation today builds on a report we did last year called Launching Low-Income Entrepreneurs. And the report noted, and you know, we've also written a lot about the tech sector's growth in New York City. And I think you all can kind of feel that we're in this kind of entrepreneurial moment in New York City. There's been this budding of entrepreneurship happening. Entrepreneurship seems cooler in a way that it's been in a long time. We've got lawyers and investment banks that are leaving those companies and going to start food trucks and catering businesses. We've got young people right out of college that are not looking for a job or maybe giving up hope of getting a job and just starting a company right away. Immigrants in neighborhoods from Jackson Heights to Richmond Hill are starting businesses left and right. But we haven't seen the same level of business formation in a lot of native-born, low-income populations in New York City. Just a couple of examples of statistics from our 2013 report. In the Bronx, 67% of the population is native-born, but only 34% of the borough's self-employed residents, of the borough's native-born residents are self-employed. In Queens, native-born residents make up 52% of the population, but just 29% of those who are self-employed. In Manhattan, where native-born population is more affluent, the native-born self-employment rate is 13.3%, but in the other 4 boroughs combined, where the native-born population is poorer, the native-born self-employment rate is 6.7%. Finally, the neighborhoods with the lowest self-employment rates in the city are East New York, Brownsville, Throgs Neck, Williamsbridge, and East Harlem. So given how much capital it takes to start a business and how much risk is involved, it's hardly surprising that many asset-poor individuals in New York have shied away from entrepreneurship. But we think, and as we concluded in our 2013 report, there's really a huge opportunity to expand the number of low-income entrepreneurs in New York City. There's certainly no lack of entrepreneurial spirit in low-income communities. And as we saw in our report and as we documented, thousands of low-income people are earning income from side hustles, from cutting hair out of their apartments to watching other people's kids. Our conclusion was that at a time when so many of the new jobs being created in today's economy offer low wages and limited opportunity for advancement, we should be embracing low-income entrepreneurship as a pathway to economic self-sufficiency in New York. But there's a lot that we need to do, and there's a lot of hurdles, and we're fortunate that we have a great group of panelists, actually 2 panels today, that's going to help us understand how we can do this. What are things that city and state officials could do? What are things the private sector could do to really help move the needle on low-income entrepreneurship in New York? And so I want to bring up our first panel, and I'm really thrilled to have a good friend of mine and someone that I respect so much. Errol Lewis is the moderator. I think you all know Errol. Anybody has cable television in this city sees him probably nightly on New York One. He's the political anchor of New York One News and host of Inside City Hall. He knows a thing or two about entrepreneurship from his days when he co-founded the Central Brooklyn Federal Credit Union. He's also, I really think, the smartest and most thoughtful political reporter in New York. So Errol, if you could come up, and all the panelists for the first panel. Thank you.